Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk to you about the 4 steps for writing an effective counterargument using Rogerian logic. Hopefully you've had a chance to read this sample counterargument before watching this video so that you can easily follow along. You'll notice that this is a rather simple body paragraph. However, even though it has some unnecessary repetition of words like the word waste in the topic sentence, it does have a really straightforward counterargument that makes it easy to analyze. So when we look at the topic sentence, it says that recycling is a good thing. Basically, if everyone recycled their reusable items such as plastic, glass, and paper, it would save many trees, prevent water pollution, and the earth would be a much cleaner place. But then we have this sentence that I have highlighted in red. It says, some may argue that recycling is a waste of time and doesn't really help the planet at all. This is step 1 of writing an effective counterargument. You need to acknowledge the opposition. So what that means is you need to point out an argument that somebody that's opposed to your argument has stated. After you've acknowledged the opposition, the next thing that you need to do is provide an example that supports that opposition and then explain it. So that happens here in the yellow highlighted section. The student said John Tierney, a journalist for the New York Times, stated in his article, "Recycling is garbage. Rinsing out tuna cans and tying up newspapers may make you feel virtuous, but recycling could be America's most wasteful activity." And then the student explains that further by saying, Tierney clarifies that recycling is wasteful by explaining that recycling is a waste of time and money. So that was step 2. Step 3 to writing an effective counterargument is to agree with or concede to the opposition. Now, when you're in the middle of an argument with somebody, the easiest way to make them stop and listen to you is to say, hey, you're right, you have a point. That makes them stop arguing and listen. And it's the same thing in writing. So this student did a pretty good job here. They said, this may sound like a compelling argument because it is true that it takes time to rinse and sort recyclable materials into glass, plastic, and aluminum, and often the cash return is very little. So they have agreed with the opposition. But now here comes the most important part of the counterargument, and that is the rebuttal. So usually a rebuttal starts with a signal word like but or however. And the student said, however, the exact opposite is true. If people don't recycle the waste that could have been reused, we'll end up in a landfill somewhere, thus creating a never-ending cycle of pollution. This is an assertion, and for a well-written counterargument, you need to make sure that you use Axis format to develop that rebuttal. So you'll see there's an assertion, here's our example, there's an explanation, and then the student ends with significance before transitioning into the next body paragraph. So these are the 4 steps for writing an effective counterargument. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask.